So I found out after this broken hammer, I read an article that said the anti-trigger slap hammer that Masterpiece Arms fits in these cobrays, and it does not just drop in and fit. Here's the anti-trigger slap hammer, and basically when it goes over the sear bar, this just pops up. Instead of pushing the trigger forward, that pops up and just catches right there like that. So when you pull the trigger and you're in semi-auto, that just pushes that back and clicks in. Like I said, this is a wear part and everything, but it doesn't quite fit in here, and I'll show you how I modified mine to fit. I will say that you should have all gunsmithing done by a professional gunsmith. I'm just showing you what I did. Get this pin out of here. And then we'll be able to pull the second pin out. It's the hammer pin, the original one. That fits right in here, the old hammer. And here's the one I modified. You can see the springs on there, and if I kind of just show it at this angle, you can see here's the large hole. These MPAs must use a larger pinhole. They also come with a different style sear in the package. But I was looking at it and I was like, hey, in this 1/4 inch roll pin, this fits in pretty loosely in there, but I was like, okay. And it almost fit in that hole. So I actually, because it didn't fit the frame, I put it in a vise, and it just barely doesn't clear the frame. I put it in a vise, just filed that down with a small file, made sure my edges were flat, as you can see I'm both flat, and then I put it in a drill to bevel the edges, and I also hit it and sanded it to make the outside smooth. I got the inside of these after I filed them to make sure, with a needle file, to make sure that there's no burrs on there that are gonna rub on the pin. And once I pressed it in here, it remains fairly tight on that, in which this one isn't even, it looks like it's some type of rolled with a groove on each side. And you can see that even in here, it's got a fair amount of leeway. You can see one of the rolled grooves right there. So my idea would be, like, ideally you would put a bushing in here and you would just tack it on there. You can kind of see beyond the springs. But I put it in there, evened it up, and that's exactly, it just, the hammer just drops in, then, and I put the pin down. Actually, the pin was through this side. I don't know if that really matters. I had to take the spring off this hammer to do it, but it's kind of a pain to get them back on. And it's bigger than original. And just poke that through. It's a little clip ring. And I suppose one could modify this receiver to fit a different spring, but I'd rather modify the part than the receiver, the serialized receiver. If you do something wrong, it doesn't work. I mean, I could always get the machine MIM or the machine replacement part for this gun. push it down just a hair. And push it in. And that pin just... Weird how guns are held together with just like some clip pin instead of like an AR that's just kind of held together. And once I put that in, you do have to have the hammer back to disassemble, otherwise it won't fire, but it seems to hit and fire. I'm going to test fire with one round first and then the second round, but you just got to get on top of the hammer, press down, and push back at the same time. There we go. And push this just retaining pin in. And there's how I fit the Masterpiece arms to fit the Cobray m11. Alright. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it.